Hello everybody and welcome to Elite Dangerous. Here I am in the void of space in my beautiful ship, the Great Phantom. So yeah, we're back in Elite Dangerous tonight. Welcome everybody. And I'm currently just kind of orbiting around this star. Well, not orbiting, I guess, just kind of flying around this star at the moment. But we're going to continue our journey home tonight in Elite Dangerous and chitty chat about whatever crosses our mind. And probably some dual universe chat as well for kind of what we want to do there. I'm thinking what we might do in this with my streams on Thursday nights now is kind of go back and forth. One night in Elite Dangerous, and then the next week in dual universe, and then back and forth. Kind of gives me some time to do a little bit of progress, a little bit of work over there, and then continue to make some progress here and some back home, because I do want to be back in the bubble before by the end of the year, which is kind of my goal. So let's show you all where we currently are. I did actually fly a little bit since the last stream, not a whole lot. Hopefully the volume on everything is good. You guys let me know if that's the case. I'll do a quick spot check here. You guys actually hear me? Is my voice coming through on the stream? Darn's pretty damn good. All right. Thank you. All right, sounds good. All right, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Just kind of merged all my music playlists, so we'll see if this gets a little intense at odd moments. But yeah, so we are currently, let me zoom out. The last stream in Elite Dangerous, we were heading to another site over here. Now, if I remember correctly, so we're heading to this spot. This is my destination from last time. And where are we? I believe, try to remember how this game works. Let's go into, where was it? The Codex, right? We were looking at discoveries. Wanted to do some stuff on the way home. So I'm currently in the Abyss. So we wanted to look at, I think I was heading towards some sort of a, so we went there last time. There was something in the Abyss. We're going to organic structures. Because we saw these, I think, right, last time. Chrysalid shards. I can't remember what exactly we were. There's a bunch of stuff. I wonder if all of this is new. Reported, confirmed. Because we had something on the list. And I can't remember what it was that we had found that we were going to in that sector. So I guess we'll just go and then see what we come across. So I'm now, let's head out. Oh, I guess I gotta put my hard points away. And away we go. Ah. I know this game all right, so it's less, what's the word I'm looking for? Less intense than dual universe is for me right now. A lot of thought going into kind of what I want to do there next. Now that we're on Nidd Island and building out there, and what all of the other members of the organization are up to, or Nidd Industries, I should say. Whoop, here we are. Let's do some scooping and some honking. Oh, I just did.
System scan complete. Fuel throughput complete.
Alright, let's take a look at anything interesting on the map. This is kind of the routine. You bring that up, we fly a little bit away from the star, and then I need to, my controls seem to be listing a bit to the side. And I believe then I need to slow down and, yeah, here we go. Look around, don't see anything in the scanner. Jump to the next system. So yeah, we are a long way home. Actually, I should do that. I should bring that up next. Next system. I'll do the. I'll show you guys the route that we're taking back to the bubble because I'm leaving Beagle Point. Last stream that I did during the mini Vester, I believe it was called, and I started my trip, and I was in Beagle Point for that one. And we went and saw a mega ship that was out there, and we went and saw, or like on the way back, we saw a weird anomaly. Now we're on our way to another one. So let's finish scooping. I believe I did honk already, but now I can't remember. So let's just honk once more. Let's take a look at the map. Ooh, there's a gas giant here, I think. First discovered by. So let's slow down and see if there's anything hiding in the system. Just the gas giant? Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to just kind of fly towards that, and I will zoom out on the galaxy map here. Or not. I clicked by accident. Zoom out. Yeah, so that's, I think that's where we went last time. And where we were before that. This is the, yeah, this is where we left at the beginning of my journey home. We are slowly getting across this kind of really empty, vast area of space, making our way back towards the galactic arm. Or we sort of are at the galactic, we are in the galactic arm, but it's very, not very, whole lot of stars. So we're basically heading down this arm all the way along here, and then back around to here, and then we'll pop over. Not sure where exactly where we'll pop over. We'll probably, as we get down, as we get over here, I might just kind of like whoop across this way, and then we'll head back in. But yeah, that's the journey that we're planning on taking. I got a long way to go, and we haven't gone very far so far. So let's make some progress. All right.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yes. See if we can find anything interesting on Azitra. The game sounds are coming through. I do hear them, so should be coming through at the right volume. Everything else. Okay, scan.
Fuel scooping.
Roll up. Wonder if I'm on a. I can't remember if I've set my route to only include scoopable stars. So far we've been pretty lucky. We got some landable planets here. Nothing too fancy though. Let's check the scanner. What do we got? Icy bodies, high metal content world, a couple high metal content worlds. I guess there could be some terraformable stuff in here. So I could just, although this area might still be discovered. I might need to drop down a bit on the plane. So high metal content world. Oops. Another, oh, that's a rocky. I think there's at least a couple high metal contents in here, right? High metal content, there we go. And, ooh, what are you? Actually, there's a lot more stuff in this system than I thought there was. Icy body. Get around to the other side, there we go. Hop in on these guys. Or high metal content worlds.
System
Rocky
scan
body,
complete.
and that's the whole system. That seems like more than I saw on the map earlier. I only see 4 objects on the map, but seems like there's a lot more than that here. Interesting. But yeah, there's not a whole lot going on here anyway, so we'll continue on our way. How many jumps do I have until we get to our location? We're only 2 jumps away. Jump until we get to this next point. Let's see what's there.
System scan complete. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
So, marker, there it is. So that way, let's see what's on the map. Nothing. What can... Let's drop down, take a look. Nothing. Okay. All right, so we're off to the next location. What's the place that you're headed to? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm headed to, once we get here, I'm hoping that I can remember exactly what the anomaly was that we had found that I was heading to. It was an anomaly that was kind of on my way home, but I don't remember which one it was. But we should drop in on it now. And I'm not sure if there's a easy way to just like I wonder if there is a way on the codex to kind of like plot out what's around you. So let's just rescoop. It's one of the codex anomalies. So there's 9 bodies in the system. Ooh. Ooh, I love these planets. Oh, these things are so beautiful. These there's 2 of them in this system. The lava planets. Oh, these look interesting, huh? Oh, yeah. These ones are landable. These orbit each other. A lot of landable planets in the system. I want to be able to land on these. This is what I really want to be able to land on, is these types of planets. So now let's take a look. Now there should be an anomaly. This was where we plotted to, but I don't see an anomaly. Oh, maybe it was something on one of these landable planets. All right, I think I'm gonna have to. Let's see. How would you like if you didn't know something was here, right? How would you find these things? So if I was to just kind of like just do some searching. Yeah, I love these planets. What do we got over here? IML content world. I think you actually have to go out and like use your probes. You have to probe the planet, which we haven't done yet, so I should probably do that, and this might be the system to do it in. So let's see. I've never probed a planet before. Content world. IML content world. Beautiful planets. Oh, one more signal. Yeah, so the last time we found an anomaly, it was actually through the scanner here. Where is the last body? Well, Rich. Where's the last body? Oh, is it not on the same elliptical plane? Do I have to go off in yonder to try and find it? This is the one part about this scanner thing, is I wish there was a kind of a way to hone in better on the things that you're looking for when you don't know exactly where they are. the star? No. Oh, here we go. Found it. You just gotta sort of magically get close enough to it. There we go, and we found another elliptical line, or an orbital line. Okay, so now we've scanned everything in the system from a distance. So what system am I in right now? I am in the Thea, the Syrup Thea. That's not gonna be helpful. So now if I go over here, what does a probe do? The probe, you launch probes at a planet and it scans the entire body of the planet, and it'll actually help you find stuff that's on the planet. So I imagine that's what we want to do in this system, so we can find whatever anomaly is in this system, or the like thing that's in this system. So astronomical bodies, biological and geological. I'm gonna think it's probably. So now reported by location. That's not where we are. That's not where we are. It was the. Is there a place? I don't think that was it. Was it? Might be this one. Ice Vermerals. Stray. Okay, let's go back. And geysers. Back. Ice geysers. I thought it was like Thea was the second word, but I probably just orient back. Gas vents. It's none of those. Lagrange clouds confirmed. Oh, this is where I was. Anomalies, organic structures. Was it one of these? Thea. So it might have been this that I'm looking for. Right here, this organic structure. Thea. Where is this? Yeah, that's where we are. Okay, so we're looking in here. So let's go back. And so we were looking at anomalous bodies in the abyss. Oh, no. Stars, guess. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Structures, these guys. So this guy here, reported on observations. So planet surfaces, on or around planet types, in system with stars A and B. Reported by, reported location. It doesn't tell you the planet? All right, so we're gonna have to, I guess we're gonna have to probe the planet. I was hoping it would actually tell me the actual planet. So found on. Okay, so we're looking for these things, whatever these things are. And it's in the system that we're in. So I guess let's start by, and it would be on a landable planet. So it might be on one of these 3 planets. So let's go to this one and scan it first. And now I got to remember how to, I've never probed a planet. So we're going to try and figure out how to do this. And I might have to look at my keybinds because I've never done this before. Oh, I'm going in way too fast. Skirt. Yeah. Loop of shame. Let's turn around. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to fire my probes. Let's get in close to the planet. And you can arc them around planets too. All right, so let me. So I think. We're gonna do a quick tour through the Controls. Mouse, flight. So where would this be? Detailed surface scanner? Full spectrum system scanner, camera, zoom in, zoom out, tuning sensitivity. This is for the big one that we do when we scan the whole system. Driving, galaxy map, head look, miscellaneous targeting, cycle, nope. Weapons, deploy hard points, firing hard points. You know, when probes and everything came out, I was already out in deep space. I wonder if I even have the ability to probe a planet. If anybody knows, let me know. Filter, so mode switches. Switch cockpit mode. Enter FSS mode. Open system. Sensors. Feel like this is a... Let me get back out of here. Feel like this is equipment that I need to repair data. I got a detailed surface scanner. I've got discovery scanner, composition scanner, data link scanner. So discovery scanner, I believe, is my honker, right? So right now I'm on A, and that's my discovery scanner. Yep. So now if I go to detailed surface scanner is in my second fire group. Oh, here we go. Surface scanner. Okay, so now I can fire my probe. So let's fire one right at the middle. And then I can try and fire one kind of like around to the back side. And then see how much surface area that we cover here. Now there's also like a bonus you get for like using the least amount of probes needed to do the whole planet. Efficiency target is 6 probes. So I feel like I need to kind of put another one up over here. Maybe like... Oh, I probably need another one on the backside over there. And the more you do this, I think the better you get at it. Did you just say honker? Yeah, I did. That's what it's called when you honk the system, the discovery scanner. Because it goes bong when you, I think I need to get really close here too. How am I doing for my 66%? I think I've used 6 probes now. So I don't get, and you don't have to get 100, you have to get close to 100. 70. Ah, okay, so I'm learning. How much of the planet is left to scan? Do we even need, did I not even get any of this? Oh, okay, so it all turns like bluish. I've got 80. Okay, so I see, okay, I think I'm getting a better idea of how this works. Yeah, first try I did very poorly on scanning the planet with the efficient number of probes.
Surface scan complete.
There we go. Okay, we got it. Signals detected 14. So now, oh, okay, look at that. It says there's biological and geological notable signals. So now if we get out of here, Whoops, wrong button. I don't even remember how I got into this thing now. How do we get... I wanna leave the prober. There we go. Okay. Okay, now there's actually, like, you can see them actually on the surface of the planet there, and we've got a whole bunch of different signals that we could go check out on the planet. So we have geological signals and biological signals. Now, I don't know exactly what. So let's go for this biological signal. So it's up over here on the other side of the planet. So let's do a little bit of a roundabout. I haven't made a whole lot of progress tonight. This is a common thread. I might need to do just some more kind of like in between flying just to make some progress. One thing I want to do actually is figure out exactly how far away I am and basically how many light years I have to make. So if I'm only doing these streams once every 2 weeks. Oh, I am way too close to the planet. Oh. Okay, I'm upside down, so let's flip around. It's really dark. I know that we have night vision, but I need to turn that on. So where is my ship? External lights, night vision. Did I not just turn that on? Night vision not. Maybe I'm just not close enough yet. So dark. So dark. Dropping from orbital cruise. Okay, it looks like my night vision is popping in. There we go. That helps quite a bit. Glide complete. Oh, look at all these little things popping in. What do we got here? What is the gravity of this planet? Oh, shoot. Let's not kill myself. This is a 2G planet. I'm glad I looked at that before I just killed myself. Oh, I still might hit. Ow. Woo! I'm far away, so I shouldn't do too much of that. So I just lost 2% of my hull. Oh, is this? Did I just come in on the completely wrong side of the planet? No. There's things here.
Taking damage.
All right. Let's Oh, I just hit again? Oh wow, and I'm now down to 84%. Okay, I'm doing really good tonight. I need to drop my... Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. What is my landing gear? That's my cargo scoop.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Oh, that's silent running, so I just got rid of my shields once again.
Thermal signature restored.
There we go. Found my landing gear. Now I really don't want to hit again. Space cacti? Yeah, they kind of do look like space cacti. Let's see, how much damage did I just do on myself? Health. Oh, my frame shift drive could lose a little bit of My sensors are down a little bit. So it's mostly just my hull. And I don't think I have hull... Do I? I don't think I have any, like, limpets for my hull, do I? Detail surface scanner, weapons, data scanner, cockpit, repair limpet controller. Repair limpet controller, 1 of 2. I think, is that the one I can use for my hull? Well, let's land. Let's find a place to land. Maybe it won't let me land. Oh, there we go. Back. Okay. Whew. Okay, let's get out of the ship in one of my scarabs. We're gonna use AFMU as well to repair my ship a little bit, I think. But let's go take a look at these things. High gravity warning. Thanks for that. Oh my goodness, look at these things. What the? Come on. What are these? They're glowing? That's not creepy at all. Ship. Wow. That's interesting. Up close, it looked more like overinflated octopus. Yeah. Now, can I? Wait. I need my. The handbrake. I need to go into my. I'm trying to remember now. Let's back up. Oh, I got my handbrake on still. And then if I go into my... Oh, module does not work. Okay, I'm too close to my ship. So let's go the other way. Let's go over to one of the... Like, look at these things. Let's go... Pointer. Okay. Now can I... Trying to remember what all my controls are. Can I scan these things? I can shoot them. I don't know if I want to shoot them. Oh, what's that? Okay, let's go over to that. I don't want to. So, data link scanner. Scan it. You hear that? Options, audio, sound effects. Wave scanner. Okay. I'm gonna pause the music for a minute. You hear that? browser audio, comm audio, desktop audio. It's a weird noise. Those are strange. Huh. So that noise on the scanner is like, I haven't heard this noise before. I think this is for whatever these things are. This is the noise that's coming. A cordyceps growth? There was another one over here. So now the only tools that we really have in this game are to scan and to shoot. Oh, I need to back up. So I really don't want to scan this thing, but at the same time, or I mean shoot this thing. But I'm curious if it like gives you a resource. Yeah, it does. Oh, okay, you're shooting the growth off of the side of the thing. Okay, so now if I open up my cargo scoop, what am I getting here? Cargo acquired. Oh, handbrake on. Let's go into my inventory. Inventory is empty. So what did we just pick up? Is it a material? What did we just pick up? That is so creepy. Didn't I just pick something up? Oh, it's iron. So it's just a normal element that comes off these things. That's so strange. I thought it was getting something like different. What do we got over here? Another growth. Is it, maybe it's just a bunch of different. Where is it? Manganese. Magnesium or manganese. All right, so there's just you can come here, I guess, just to mine these things for normal resources. This is more manganese. Okay, so they're just weird, like weird growths or like plant type life or something that exists on planets with zero gravity, or sorry, this 2 gravity, but exists on planets with no atmosphere, and they kind of like grow metals on them. Yeah, zirconium. Interesting. All right, well, we'll head back. So is this, just out of curiosity, is this the thing that we were coming here to find? If I go back to the codex, I was in the biological. This definitely seems like a biological, organic, yeah. Yeah, these things, right? reported. How do I shouldn't I have this confirmed now? How do I make it bioluminescent? Interesting. What do I have to do to get this in my thing? Not that. So I was able to scan like the growths, but I wasn't able to scan like these things. Showing me more of the deposits, yeah. These growths. Ooh, what's this? A seed pod. This looks new. What? What's a seed pod? Does it just do the same thing? Cadmium. Okay. Interesting. More growths. I'm turning the wrong way. Oof, that hurt. Yeah, I know. Can I flip over? I'm a good driver, really. So I'm confused as to how I actually like scan these things. Maybe I have to do it for my spaceship? And when I get back into my spaceship, it will repair my my SRP, so that's not a huge deal. Alright, so let's... get back into my ship. All right, so my landing gear is down. I'm on the planet. So let's lift off. Oh, actually, let's land. Because I think what I want to do is let's do a quick repair job on some modules first. Let's fix this.
Module repaired.
Now let's activate it. Sensors, we'll repair that.
Module repaired.
Yeah, those are the only two things it looks like I broke, except for my actual hull. Now, if I go down to repair limpet controller, directs a limpet to repair the amount of damage on the hull. Yeah, okay, so I was smart enough to bring one of these with me. I just need to get into space, I think, before I use this, and then we'll try and repair my hull. Let's lift up a bit. Let's... repair... Discovery scanner, composition scanner, data leak scanner... Can't lock on to any of these things. Biological is 400 away. Let's lift up a bit from the ground so we don't hit again. I think this is where we are, right? Biological. Yeah, so this is the area. I can't data link scan it. 500 meters. Do I have my... my night vision is off again. Come on. Yeah, so it's just pointing me to the middle of this cluster. Oh, I'm falling because of the gravity. Interesting. Geological signal. More biological signals. So I'm a little confused as to how I get it registered into my system. But I've been here. Found these things. Biological signal. Because I don't think it's in my codex yet, right? Unless I'm just at the wrong place. Go back. Because these said they're here. That's not what I wanted to do. Reported by, reported on, found. Planet surfaces. Environmental content. Because we confirmed the other one by scanning it, I think, right? Like the silicate thing. Silicate crystals? Or... What did I... Oh, the ground cloud. This is what we found last time. Confirmed. And I must have scanned something? I don't even remember what I did anymore. But we're definitely seeing some of this stuff. Data link scanner. I don't have any other kind of equipment that I can use for this, right? Planical... Discovery scanner. Composition scanner. Do I have that on a fire group? Where's my composition scanner? That's number 2 with my... Okay, so... Pair limpet. Oh, looks like I'm... So data link scanner, composition scanner. Switch mode. I need to be in a different mode. Nothing found for my composition scanner. Oh. Ah! We did it! So now... Haha! Confirmed! We did it! Alright, cool. So now, just out of curiosity, so there was biological signals here, and then there was these... What's a geological signal? Let's lock onto that. So how far away is it? Let's probably get up into... Probably want to go back up into orbit and then fly back down towards it, but let's kind of... What's behind me? Oh, I need to get my landing gear up.
Landing gear retracted.
No, maybe it's on the other side of the planet. Yeah, it is. All right, so let's go up. Oh, let's get my engines at max. You guys can't actually see my pips, I think, because I'm in the... No, no. Looks like you can. Oh, because I've got this moving around. I forget how I recenter that. To be... How do I undo this? I'll just try and line it up. Proper.
Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Alright, let's get back up, kind of away from the planet. And then we'll orbit around, drop in on whatever one of these geological things are, and see what that's all about. Alright, so composition scanner. You gotta use that to scan these things, and then put them in your... Need to kind of get up to that orbital cruise marker. Far enough away. There we go. Now let's get back down. There it is.
Orbital flight engaged.
Let's try not to crash this time. Probably should have repaired my hull before I came back in. Come a bit slower this time, maybe at a better angle. So my night vision is still on, but we just got to get close enough for it to be effective. Oh, I do want to get a little bit closer than that, though. Oh, I went too far. Yep, now I'm getting farther away. I flew over it. Where is it? There it is. Alright, it's a decent angle, that's a decent distance before we drop into glide. Bonk. No more crashy crashy. And that darkness is kind of a little bit well, the way the darkness goes away with the night vision, I'm not sure I like that. Let's even it out. My distance, kilometers, okay. What do we got over here? It's not going too fast. Okay, so we got some interesting looking things popping up on the radar. Maybe? Okay, I see some dots coming in. What's this all about? Let's even it out. Slow down. Slow it down. Let's not crash. What do we got over here? Okay. So let's put down landing gear. See if we can find a
Landing gear deployed.
spot that is a little bit better for landing. It's a pretty rocky area. Oh, okay, I found something maybe. Let's back it up a little bit. Go. All right, now let's go into the SRV. Now we'll have to scan these things. I am assuming in the spaceship again to get credit for whatever they are, if there's anything here first for that type of scanning. My handbrake is still on.
High gravity warning.
Do I actually have? I do have night vision on this thing too. Crystalline fragments. What are these? Interesting. All right, so data link. See, they have a very different sound, huh? Let's change to, oh, that's the handbrake. Just kind of lock on to whatever that is. Back it up. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. Crystalline fragment. It's a little, can I, oops. Can I scan that? Yeah, that doesn't give me anything. I shoot it. No. I want whatever that thing was. My contacts, crystalline cluster? Needle cluster? Is that what I just... Nope, that's not what I just... So where is the thing that I just... Oh, there it is. Material. Okay, so it's chromium. Oh, I need to... My cargo patch. Yeah. So it got me chromium. Okay, so it's more materials. Crystalline fragment, crystalline... Oh, what's this? See, this noise actually on the scanner I think is a little bit more normal. That other noise is real creepy. Let's back it up. Go around this. Nickel. Okay. All right. Interesting. So these things are more resources that you can pick up. Back to the ship. Curious if these things are scannable as well or not. The feeling they're not, since they weren't on the list of things that were here. All right. And let's board the ship. Maybe it's just the biological stuff. think I need to turn night vision back on again. So I think I need a key binding for that. And then geological, let's lock onto that again, which was okay. So let's just see if there was like something I can actually scan. Where was the actual signal? Okay, so it's right there. And then we switch modes. And then let's see if there's something that we can lock onto here. No, it doesn't look like these things can be locked onto. Oh, gravity. Doesn't look like it, huh? Just a bunch of kind of like resources you can get from these crystalline structures. I don't think I see anything that looks like it's scannable in this area. Just little like outcroppings. This doesn't. Okay, so let's pop out of here. Oh, landing gear. Let's get away from this planet and its 2G gravity. It keeps messing with me. And then I'll let's do some. Let's go to 90 degrees. Get back into space, and then we'll do some repair on my hull. Hopefully I have enough for limpets. Might need to craft. I might have one limpet, but so I need to actually.
Cannot comply.
There we go.
Drive charging.
Looking for inventory. Oops.
3, 2, 1.
No looking through menus while you are transferring from one state to another. Alright, limpet. I've got 3 limpets right now. Okay. So if I need more limpets, I can. So if we go, I can make some, but data link scanner. Repair. Okay, so let's get out and let's do some repair. Back out into past the orbital cruise marker. And yeah, once again, we've made like no progress in distance tonight. So we'll move on from here. Now that we've found the next kind of like thing in this area, maybe the next goal should be get to the next zone. So we're back out into space. We're away from the planet. I'm gonna come to a stop. Drop out into normal space. And let's turn around and look at the planet, because that'll be a nice view for us while we do some repairs. There's the star off in the distance. What's that? Oh, is that that's my trail, I guess. There we go. We got a planet. That's where we just were. If I go now, I have my repair limpet.
Programming limpet drone.
Come on. Where's the limpet drone? Oh, it's on top? Is that my drone right there? Where's my drone? Yep, that is it on the bottom. Just popped off. There you go. Why is my... There we go. There. So I just did a bit of a repair job. Oh, look at that. I'm at 100% hull again. Ha. I feel better. Nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything horrible. So now we need to plot a route. So where are we going next? So we currently in Thea. We need to head... These are the two places that we've been to so far. So now we need to kind of like head back towards the galactic plane here, crossing this line. So let's... Now I don't know if there was any more... Actually, one thing we could do is just... Oops, wrong button again. See if we can find... back into the codex. We're still in the abyss, so let's go there. So biological and geological. So far, what have they shown us? So we have found these Lagrange things. An L-type anomaly. Is it? Where is this? Is it on the way? Or have we already passed it? No, yeah, that stuff was all back here. Interesting. So in the Oridae area. So we've already left the Oridae area. So that was that guy, gas vents. What looks lava spurts, ice thermals, ice glaciers, geological anomalies, organic anomalies. Crystal shards. What are these silicates? Where are they? Oh. I think this is again back in the area that we left already. Yeah, it looks like we missed a bunch of stuff back in that area. So what if I go back out of here and let's say we want to look in the Archeron system or the Archeron sector because we're going to head down this line right here. So what do we have? In here that looks like it might be interesting to see. So these are just all different types of stars. Ooh, a black hole. Neutron star. White dwarf. Where is a reported black hole? Right here. How far away is that? Very far away. But it is down the track that we're going, so we can eventually get to that black hole. Is there anything... So we've seen Lagrange crowds. Ice fermions, lava spurts. Ooh! What are these? How far away is that? Pretty far, but maybe it's a good destination to... Let's see if we can actually plot to it. Plotting route. Hey, greetings! Cubic bolonium? Greetings, humanoids. I know that greeting. You have a different name, don't you? Are you Fern Dip? Did I actually make a plot, or did it not let me plot? Looks like it. Steel Star. Did it actually plot me? Yeah, it did. There we go. That's a long route that we can head all the way over to here. That'll be our next major destination. To get to whatever those weird things are. Yes, I got your name. Name was taken here. There we go. So I remember. I knew you by your greeting. Welcome. So yeah, so we've got that. That looks neat to get to. These things. I've never seen one of those before. We've seen one of these now. Is there an... Actually, there was a few... Let's see here. Ice crystals. I wish I could, like, order these things by distance to me. Parachute. I think parachute was where we were. Jungling, parachute, parachute. Oh no, that's... Oh, those are the person's name. I was looking at the person's name. How far away is this one? Oh, it's... Okay, so once we get over to here, it looks like there's a few things that we can discover over there. Or I guess rediscover, since other people have already discovered this stuff. Oh, this is back in... Oh, I'm in my area again. All right, let's start heading towards this particular route. Let's see. Forward would be good.
Cannot comply. Frame shift.
Let's get back into Super Cruise, away from this 2G planet.
4, 3.
Yeah, so we're trying to head back home for a dip. Slowly but surely. Let's head towards this. Did a little bit of exploring in this area. I repaired myself after crashing a bit on a 2G planet.
Frame shift drive charging.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Goodness gracious. You're a bit of an explorer too, if I remember correctly. How do you normally kind of like cruise around out here in the deepness of space looking for stuff? When I was out there, I stumbled upon a bubble of restricted space. Really? That sounds fun. Except for the fact you can't go in it. I'm assuming you bookmarked it.
Fuel scooping.
Let's get some fuel. While aiming at my next destination, of course.
Fuel scooping complete.
It was like exact opposite of human bubble. On the other side. Yeah, well that's kind of where, dude, I don't know if you saw, but it's kind of where I am right now. I just left Beagle Point, right? So I am Beagle Point's just back here. Yeah, so I'm far away. On my way home. Oh, let's take a look at what we scanned. Nothing looks too fancy. I don't see any anomalies.
Frame shift drive charging.
One thing I should do actually is, once I get a little bit further in so that there's a little bit more density of stars, so maybe once we get over to the next zone, I think I do want to kind of like either go up a bit or down a bit on the plane so that we get off of the beaten path. I feel like I'm still sort of on like the route that people go. Or at least the route that some people went from Beagle Point back. I'm assuming I'm not the only one that decided to travel this arm back to home.
Fuel scooping. System scan complete.
All right, I was gonna check and see if I was just using scoopable stars in my route.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Just the stars. No.
Frame shift drive charging.
We're 303 jumps away from that destination. That's gonna take a little bit of time to get there. Next jump, I'm gonna check my route and find a plotter. Ooh. Maybe not. This looks, or this is maybe an A class. Yep. Whoa. A or B. Surprise. That's just it. Was nay, I'm right. All right. But let's do check. Okay, nothing on the scanner. I do want to check my route planner though. Did I filter for? No, I've got everything selected. Okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
Just seems like every star I pop in at is a scoopable star, so I thought maybe I'd filtered for that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Through which space? Actually, one thing that's happened, so there is a little bit of news for Elite Dangerous. Galnet was dead.
Fuel scooping.
And now Galnet has been resurrected. And I haven't looked at it yet. And Galnet was one of the things I liked a lot because I liked all the lore stuff in Galnet. And some new stuff has happened, and there's like stations. There was like a station that got like blowed up back in the bubble by terrorists or something. Yes, stuff. Is that right, Ferndip? Wasn't there 2 community goals also started today? That's right. Yes, community goals started. I did watch the Ants video on that stuff. Metal content worlds. But so I'm curious actually, because I haven't really used the play thing. So let's go into Galnet News. And there should be some news. So Power Play update. I don't think we care too much about it. Community support's required for Starport. Death of Duval. Yeah, like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with the Empire, right? In the so that's where the community goals are. Death of Duval. Is there? Can you? Whoa, that's not what I wanted to be doing. Galnet News. That's just the player. There was a way to like queue things up, right? So if I go into Galnet News, I want to do it from oldest to newest. Rebels are trying to kill the Empire Royals. Haha! They attacked 4 stations. 4 stations. So where does it show you the date? So 10th September, 11th. Okay, yeah. So here we go. So this one, I want to add to a playlist. And then here we've got, so terrorist attack. Then we got Starport upgrade initiative to support fleet carriers. Terrorist attack. Is this actually a? All right, I don't know. Let's see how this works. Let's add this news inquiry into Starship. Oh, right. I heard that. Yeah. The mystery around space or star. What is it called? Starship One. I really want them to continue that one. I watched the lore tour by Drew Wager, and he gave some like he's like that story never finished. It should have been. So I already add this into my queue. Where do I see my queue? So Prince Harold Duval assassinated. Oh, playlist. Death of a Duval. And then community supports required Starport. All right, let's try this. So here's all the news that's happened that's playable. Now if I go into here and say play it.
Terrorist attacks on Imperial Starport. Pilot Federation alert for the attention of all commanders. The Empire has broadcast this message across its emergency channels. There have been multiple explosions within Mackenzie Relay Station in Princess Aisling Duval's home system.
Aisling Duval. Right, I think it pauses while it reads.
Yes.
Oh.
NMLA terrorists have claimed responsibility. In coordinated attacks, they have also struck at Tsiolkovsky Terminal in the Gap-Georgies system, Garrido Market in the LHS 4031 system, and Muller Terminal in the RAB system. We urgently request assistance from the galactic community with repairing these starports and rescuing their populations. The Imperial Internal Security...
Okay. I think I do need to adjust sound effects. Let's pull them down a bit so that I can hear that a bit better.
The service issued a bulletin regarding this current threat. The Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army is a paramilitary force of political extremists whose activities have been small-scale until now. Marlinism is a well-known ideology inspired by Marlin de Val, who established the Republic of Akanar in the 23rd century prior to it becoming the Empire. Many people in the fringe systems are Marlinists, who want to replace hereditary emperors with representation by elected senators. Neo-Marlinism is a more radical conviction that only terror tactics will force such change. The NMLA's hatred of the Imperial family explains why it has targeted starports under the Deval banner. But its use of portable military-grade explosives is unprecedented, suggesting an increase in resources. Starport upgrade initiative to support fleet carriers.
4, 3.
And then pause for change of scenery.
A press release from Brewer Corporation discusses plans to improve access to refueling for owners of fleet carriers. We have been surprised and gratified by the popularity of our latest product. The options for independent pilots and crews have been considerably expanded by the versatility and capability of our Drake-class carriers. But we have also listened to customers' concerns, in particular that large ships such as Anacondas, corvettes and clippers cannot dock with refinery outposts to take on tritium fuel. To help alleviate this issue, Brewer Corporation has partnered with two independent construction firms, Kevlar Space Frames Limited and Steel Castle Incorporated. They are tasked with upgrading a number of outposts into fully functioning starboards in order to make refueling runs more efficient. The two construction companies that won this contract both have impressive track records in modifying orbital habitats. Kevlar Space Frames specializes in Orbis starboards, while Steel Castle exclusively works with Coriolis designs. The projects are expected to begin next week. Terror attacks used Thargoid-derived explosives.
4, 3.
Ooh, that was a good headline. Pause for drama.
The Imperial Internal Security Service has transmitted another urgent bulletin regarding terrorist attacks on starports in the Empire. There have been indications that the 4 starports came under attack by Thargoids. We can confirm that this is not the case, and there is no evidence of Thargoid vessels in the vicinity. Observers reported that some of the damage inflicted on the station's infrastructure closely resembled the effect of Thargoid weaponry. This was registered by internal sensor systems, resulting in automatic emergency broadcasts designed to summon aid during a Thargoid incursion. Preliminary investigations suggest the use of customized explosive devices that incorporated elements of Thargoid technology. This suggests that the perpetrators have access to unusually sophisticated resources as well as xenological materials. As yet, there is no reason to doubt that the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army is responsible for these attacks. We have received reports of jubilant scenes from some Imperial fringe systems, in territories where Marlinism remains popular.
4, 3, 2.
So terrorists are using Thargoid materials to make their bombs.
Help with rescue operations is still being requested from the 4 Imperial starboards. Mackenzie Relay in the Semires system, Tsiolkovsky Terminal in the Gabgeorgis system, Garrido Market in the LHS 4031 system, and Milo Terminal in the RAB system. Inquiry into Starship 1's destruction concludes.
I want to hear this one.
An independent inquiry by the Federal Attorney's Office into the destruction of presidential vessel Starship 1 has produced a final report. Senior Attorney Malend Warkoro made this statement. The loss of presidential vessel Starship 1 in May 3301, along with hundreds of lives, was a great tragedy. Despite suspicion that this was an attempt to eliminate then-President Jasmina Halsey, initial investigations concluded that a catastrophic malfunction of its drive systems was the likely cause. A new inquiry was opened when fresh evidence came to light, including testimonies from several members of the Federal Navy. Our final report states that there is sufficient reason to believe Starship 1 was destroyed by deliberate sabotage.
4,
Ooh,
3, 2.
deliberate sabotage.
A grand jury has determined that criminal charges should be made. We have shared our findings with the Federal Intelligence Agency and understand that an arrest will take place shortly. The inquiry report is not yet in the public domain. but is thought to allege that illegal modifications were made to the frame-shift drive system of
System
Starship
scan
1 in advance of
complete.
its destruction during
Fuel
flight through
scooping.
hyperspace. Prince Harold Deval assassinated.
Fuel scooping
Prince
complete.
Harold Deval is dead after a targeted assassination at...
Okay, I'm gonna pause that one for a moment. Let's just do a quick look-see. Nothing really going on in here. Nothing going on in here. Okay, so I'm gonna fly. I think in the future I won't just queue them all up because I kind of want to have some time to talk about them as we go through them. But what was nice? I may have to go haul some stuff for a change of pace. Oh yeah, for the on the community goal. If I was back there, I would. I have been either making tritium for fleet carriers or pew pew lately. Ah, nice. But yeah, if I go into the Gallant News, the Halsley one is interesting. Like this was one that I was really curious about. So they've definitely found because what's his face, right? The guy that's now the leader of the Federation. Oh, what's his name? Hudson, Zachary Hudson. Like he was like they found the ship or whatever, right? And then they were saying that it was just natural causes or something, or not natural causes, but like that the ship had a malfunction. But now they're saying that there's obvious evidence that deliberate sabotage. The grand jury has determined a criminal charges should be made. This story, because like didn't she when she popped out of when she came back, when they found her and they brought her back, she was making a bunch of claims like she'd seen into the light and like talking crazy talk, right? But this was all before the Targo showed up too. So interesting. Okay. Let's go to the next system, and then we'll play the assassination one. Yeah, no, that storyline, I've been really interested to figure out or to find out what kind of like a little bit more on that. And this now they are actually planning to like integrate like the. So I did watch the live stream where Frontier was talking about this storyline stuff and Galnet coming back. And it's interesting because they were saying that they've got like a massive storyline that goes till 2022. And there'll be a whole bunch of little things that happen along the way, and aspects where we can influence how it works. I'm assuming through like community goals and stuff like that. Although when they say, because at some point in the live stream, they said that they basically said they knew where they wanted things to get to by 2022, and then they kind of worked back from there, right? I want to look at the star map. They worked back from there. To get to now and kind of figure out what are all of the, all the pieces that they need to put together to get to that point. So I don't know if you guys have played Mass Effect, and I love those games. So take what I'm about to say here, I don't know, with positive as well, because it might sound a bit negative, but like I love those games. I love the storylines, but it's kind of like one of those. Like in Mass Effect, right, there was like, at the end of the third one, there was like 3 possible endings that you could get. And based on your choices all the way through the game, you might end up one side, the other, or down the middle. And, but there was 3 endings, that was it, right? So it wasn't like the choices you made could drastically change things. And that makes sense, because it's a computer game at some point too, right? Like, there's only so many paths that they can code in with all the voice acting and all of that kind of stuff that they had to do. So, yeah, I love those games too. I played all 3 of them multiple times. They were great, and I love the storyline and the whole 9 yards. And I liked, but it was kind of a bit of an illusion of choice, right? In the sense that you felt like you were making decisions, but at the end there was like, didn't matter what you did, you were going to get to one of these. Well, this is a big system. You're going to get to one of those three endings. So I imagine that this kind of like storyline that they're working through for Elite Dangerous is going to be similar to that, and they've worked out kind of like where they need to be at the end. They probably got maybe multiple, maybe 2 or 3, and I'm speculating here. None of this is for reals, obviously. This is just me speculating. But imagine that they've got like maybe like they've got a basic big picture of where they want the story to be in 2022, and and you know, like maybe, you know, a handful of ways, like of like ending bits that they could get to for that, right? So, and then our choices along the way are going to be probably through like community goals or things like that, where they can, the outcomes of those will sway it towards, you know, maybe one of three possible, you know, endings, just like kind of like the style that Mass Effect did with their thing, which I think is cool. I am a huge proponent of bringing more lore into the game, bringing it back, you know, getting the storyline going again, learning about more of these things. I hope that they continue the stuff with the Thargoids, because I don't know if you guys know the, like, I watched the whole lore tour, and while I was watching the whole lore tour, Drew Rager talked about, and this is public knowledge now, I guess, because he's allowed to talk about it. But he was talking about like two different types of Thargoids that were, and his books was kind of like talking about this, right? Where one group was kind of like, oh, I forgot to do the scanner. One group of Thargoids was actually like basically running away from another group of Thargoids, kind of like a Civil War idea, and the first group was going to use humanity as a distraction, right? They're going to run through our space and then keep going, and then let the ones chasing them kind of come into humanity and hopefully distract them long enough for them to get away, kind of thing. Was kind of like, I think the idea there. But it seems like that storyline kind of got dropped, because none of that seemed, I don't know, I didn't see anything like that in the actual game. So I don't know what's going on with that anymore, but that was a cool storyline. And the Halsey thing is still in mystery. And of course, there's the big Elite Dangerous mystery, that who knows if they'll ever actually
Fuel scooping complete.
bring that one to a conclusion, because it's probably at the point now where, oh, look at this, just a planet floating out there in the middle of nowhere. So Raxla, right? The mystery of Raxla. And I wonder if they're planning just to let that one stay a mystery forever, because it's like been a mystery since the first Elite game back in, what, 1984 was the first game? I can't remember now. I didn't get started with Elite Dangerous until, or sorry, I didn't get started with the Elite franchise until Elite Dangerous. But the lore tour, if you guys haven't, like, I went back, it's on his YouTube channel. I think he's got them all there. You can go through and watch all of the lore tour stuff on Drew Rager's YouTube channel, and it was totally worth it if you like the lore of this game. I got a lot from it. It was fun. And actually, one of the reasons I loved it so much was for the role-playing game, right? So if you guys know that right now Drunk Spidey is running us through a zombie, all flesh must be eaten scenario. But once that's done, we're actually starting a full campaign in the Elite Dangerous role-playing game. That I did a short campaign, or a short adventure. I think it was like 5 live streams long with everybody from the NiddTubers there. So we're starting a full-on campaign. So one of the things I loved about getting all that lore is that I can use that in the role-playing game, right? That was what I tried to do. Okay, there we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
There is a movement to expand the influence of the Dark Wheel. That's another big mystery, right? Yeah, the Dark Wheel. With the thought that they might help unlock Raxel. Yeah, I've heard about that. I think Drew Rager was actually trying to help with that, right? Like they were trying to, because there actually is a Dark Wheel faction in, oh shit. I thought something was happening, but no. There's a Dark Wheel faction in the system, the Founders World system, right? What's the name is Shinrada Dezra, and yeah, like they're trying to expand that faction. Now, if that really is the dark, like, so the Dark Wheel is a shady organization, right? That nobody's supposed to know about, and they wouldn't advertise themselves. So I almost wonder if the Dark Wheel faction in that system is like not really the Dark Wheel faction, right? Like that they're pretend, or they're purposely trying to use it as like a way of distracting them from what's really going on. Because I think, wasn't the Dark Wheel at the, oh, look at all of these. Wasn't the Dark Wheel at the root of the whole Salome thing with the finding another home for, And I don't know how much I want to go into that, because if you guys, I don't want to spoil things if you haven't read those books or know much about the Salome thing. Let me know if you're okay with me just jibber jabbing about it, because it was a lot. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I like that whole storyline too. That's the wrong button again. What do we got here? Rocky Worlds, bodies. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Look at this. I think we got us some water worlds. Dun 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 dun. That's not a water world. Oh wait, is it? There we go. Water world. Now, I'm assuming... I'm curious. First discovered. Yeah, okay. So again, this is another system that's still been... Maybe I should drop down... Again, I was going to say once we get out of this area. Yeah, they are in a few systems now. Oh, right, so they've moved it out of there already. Okay, cool. And yet, the Dark Wheel is in the Codex. Yeah, well, so is Raxla, right? Not sure about the Salome. Yeah, have you read? I don't know if you read any Drew Rager's books. I've read the first one, and I'm working my way through the second one now. I really enjoyed the first Salome book, or the first Drew Rager book. What was it? Reclamation, I think was the name of it. And then the second one is first one was Reclamation. Second one is, I'm reading it right now and I can't remember the title. I'm sure it'll come to me eventually. But let's just go into here. Ooh, what's that? Probably a gas giant. So let's just fly over this way. And then if I go back into the Codex. Oh, we haven't finished the news yet either. Oh, that's not what going in there. Discoveries, Commander, Pilot's Hat, Knowledge Base. Yeah, so Raxla is in here, and so is the Dark Wheel, right? So I mean, and like, it's an interesting little read. We can read through that, and then yeah, the Dark Wheel right here as well. Shady organization. There's a bit of information in here about it, right? But yeah, like the fact that they're here means that they're real, I would assume. But just because the Dark Wheel is displayed here, and there's a faction in Sunrata Dezra that's the Dark Wheel, then it doesn't mean that that's the real Dark Wheel, though, either, right? It could be the Dark Wheel could have created it as a whatchamacallit, like a distraction, or it could be some other group that's like, oh, we're the Dark Wheel, and they're upstarts or whatever, and the Dark Wheel is maybe letting it happen for now as a distraction. Who knows? But I have a feeling it's not really them. It's not listed as a player faction. No. I agree with you on that. I don't think it's a player faction. I think that Frontier put it in. But I would be surprised if it was the real Dark Wheel. I still think that it's like a front of some kind or a feint of some kind. I don't know. Maybe my mind is too conspiratorial. But then that's the Dark Wheel. They are conspiratorial. You know,
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, no, there's lots of really cool kind of like storylines in this game, right? And I'm really happy that they are starting to bring that stuff back. It was sad when Galnet ended. It seemed like they did all that work too on like making the audio stuff, you know, like read out Galnet, and then all of a sudden Galnet was gone. It's like, oh, okay. I hope they're bringing this back. But yeah, I have a feeling that it was because they were like working on Odyssey, right? So they were just trying to get like all their resources on Odyssey, which totally makes sense. I'm a developer. I know how that works. And then now they've got, you know, some cycles to work on some of this stuff again. Makes sense to me.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right. So once we get to the next system, I'll. But yeah, like so the storylines that I know, based on listening, reading Drew Wager stuff and listening to a bunch of the Drew Wager lore stuff, a bunch of the storylines that I know are not finished yet. Like the Slomi storyline is actually done. Like it's completed with the books, and there was that big in-game event, right, with Harry Potter, you know, the whole Harry Potter thing. So that mystery is actually over.
System scan complete.
Because it led you, it led to the whole thing out in the 419 Rift. That whole
Fuel scoop disengaged.
That whole thing. That was pretty neat. And so I've been spoiled a little bit because I hadn't actually read the last book before I kind of knew what happened. But I was holding out for an audiobook. Because I had the first one as an audiobook. I was holding out for the second one to be on audiobook, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I grabbed the Kindle version, and now I'm reading it. Old school style. Well, not really. I guess it's not Dead Tree version. It's still digital, but.
2, 1, engage.
I do most of my stuff these days audio because I can listen while I walk places. I can listen during transit. I can listen while I'm cleaning the house or making food or whatever. I find I get through a lot of stuff that way. Whereas if I actually have to make time to sit down and read, I do it far less.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Quite low. Interesting. What do we got? Asteroid fields, high metal content worlds. I want stuff over here.
Frameshift drive charging.
I think it'd be cool to see the Hasley, the
4, 3,
Jen,
2,
Jane,
1, engage.
Beasley was her last name. Jasmina Hainsley, I think. To figure out what happened there, because I know a lot of people were speculating that whole thing was about Thargoids, or maybe it's about Guardian stuff. That'd be cool to have a bit more understand a bit more what's going on with the Guardian stuff. Or maybe it's something else completely, because there's still a whole bunch of permit locked areas in space out there too. So who knows what they're planning on doing with all that. Is in the Raxla storyline, right? There is what is it? There is was it the Polaris? Polaris is locked, right? And that definitely has something to do with Raxla, because in the original Elite lore book that came out with the original 1984 game, what was it called? What was the name of that thing? I actually went and grabbed it online. It's available for free online. There's a webpage, and you can just go read the original story, the original Elite story. What was it called? I can't remember the name of it now. Man, I'm having a hard time with names. But I read that, and they talk about that's where the original Raxla mystery comes from, and I think there's a clue in there that they had to go to Polaris, the North Star, I believe. But that system is locked. You can't go there.
System scan complete.
Can't go there.
Fuel scooping.
But supposedly the clues that a big clue to what's going on with Raxla is in that system. Again, all hearsay, speculation.
Fuel scooping complete.
I don't know for sure. But that's still locked. We need to get in there somehow. I don't know how. What was the name? Let's see if I keep doing that with my mouse. So if I bring up Was it the Elite book?
4, 3, 2,
Game
1. Engage.
4. What was the name of that thing? Oh, now I'm just getting nothing but George Orwell, so that's not what I wanted. I don't know if you remember Ferndip, or if you, like, how much you've gotten into the lore of this game.
Fuel scooping.
Ever since I've been getting into, like, roleplay games, I've noticed that I've been more and more and more interested in all of the lore stuff of the games, of this game. And then, but also in, like, all of the role-playing games that I get into, I really get into the lore. So, like, the role-playing games that I've played so far are Pathfinder, which has been a lot of fun. Very rules heavy, though. And Dungeons and Dragons. And Elite Dangerous role-playing game. And I've played some Vampire the Masquerade. I'm actually the storyteller. I'm the running those games with a group with my sisters, and they're really enjoying it so far, being vampires. It's been a lot of fun. And then I think there's one more. It's another one that I've played in.
4, 3.
I know. I bet you would like Starfinder. So I bought. So Starfinder is what's the name of that company? Paizo. So Paizo makes Pathfinder, and Paizo also makes Starfinder. So Starfinder's their, like, sci-fi, and it's relatively new compared to Pathfinder. But yeah, I actually have the rule book for that, and I have run a single kind of like one-shot adventure in it so far with a group of my friends. I haven't done much more than that, and I've never actually got to play. But yeah, it's pretty neat too. Yeah, basically Pathfinder of the future. Yeah, and it is Pathfinder of the future. Like, the lore in Pathfinder and Starfinder are linked. It's the same universe. It's the same history. So all of the fantasy history, actually, it's like, I think it's something like 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that years later, and you know, all of the races have developed space technology, and yeah, so it's really kind of cool that's how they did it. My game group plays that and Pathfinder 2nd edition. I have only done one session in Pathfinder 2nd edition. It was during the playtest period of Pathfinder 2nd edition. It was a one shot. So I haven't played it since it's gone out, like, full release. Because my group that plays Pathfinder, I'm actually a player in that one. We're still playing 1st edition because we're working through. I joined them when they were already a couple books in, but they're working through the Rise of the Rune Lords adventure path, and we're in book 4 now, I think. So we might try an adventure path or something in 2nd edition when we finish that, whenever that is, which is probably, like, still like a year away or so to get through the last 2 books. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Fuel scooping complete.
It plays more like Starfinder, but not exactly the same. Yeah, the spaceship combat is quite complicated. And with Paizo, most of the games, and I know 2nd edition is, I think, might be a bit better, but Paizo is definitely, and so, like, Pathfinder and Starfinder are, like, very, very rules heavy. So I find that you can get bogged down in your gameplay quite a bit, like, just trying to figure out how something's supposed to work. So, like, that's the other one I played, Call of Cthulhu, which is the exact opposite, right? Like, Call of Cthulhu is a very story first, kind of like role-playing game with the rules being much lighter, which leads for a very different type of game, and both are really fun, but in different ways. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu obviously being all about eldritch horror, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, tons of fun to play those types of things. I run most of these games because I'm the one who's, like, super interested in trying out all these different things. So that's the curse of wanting to try a new game system, or trying to convince other people to play role-playing games with you. Cough, cough, NiddTubers, cough, cough. You end up having to actually run all of the games. Although I definitely
Frameshift drive charging.
tip my hat to Drunk Spidey for running the zombie one. That's been so much fun. I don't know, Ferndip, if you've seen any of the All Flesh Must Be Eaten RPG run that I've been a player in, with Drunk Spidey running it on this channel. And yeah, it's been a ton of fun. Like running for those guys in EDRPG has been hilarious, and then playing with them as a player has been hilarious. Too much fun.
Fuel scooping.
All right, let's see. Possible that there's something there.
Complete.
I've been working on a Starfinder game with my friends. Been dragging my feet on learning Roll20. Yeah, so actually, if you're, I can send you some links to some tutorials that I've found for Roll20. I've actually learned quite a bit about. Oops, that's the wrong thing. I've learned a lot about Roll20 recently, or not recently, but like, ooh, what a world. And it is a pretty like. Once you, yeah, like it's really quite clunky in that way, right? Like it's obviously made by developers and not by like user experience people, which I can totally relate with. But was this all discovered by people already? First discovered by, yeah. But yeah, so it's a pretty neat system. I've learned quite a bit about it and how to use it, and there are definitely some getting used to it. But I've learned how to use like tokens properly now and link them with sheets and do a whole bunch of really cool stuff in there, which has been a lot of fun. And make macros. I went crazy into the macros to try and like I went overboard because I was trying to. I was really terrified that Boris wouldn't like playing role-playing games, and it looks like he loves them, so yay! But I was so terrified that like Apple, because it's what Spidey, Apple, Lyric, and Boris are all my players in the NiddTuber stuff, and I was terrified that that we're gonna get bogged down by rules and by minutia and by like trying to calculate how much damage you do and all that kind of stuff. And EDRPG is a pretty rules light game already, but so I like went nuts, and I like tried to make macros for everything and make buttons out of all those macros so that they could just like click on their player and then like roll their dice without having to really think about anything. And it definitely worked. It was, it made, and I think for a live stream, it was actually really, really good idea because it streamlined the combat a lot and got people just playing and telling the story, which was good. And maybe it helped quite a bit too with making sure that people enjoyed the game, and it was more about the story and less about trying to figure out like how you do something. But yeah, it was a lot of upfront work trying to figure out how Roll20 worked. But I think it was worth it in the end. It was a lot of fun. And at the end of it, they want to play a whole campaign in EDRPG now. So I think I succeeded. I'm looking forward to that campaign start. I've been working on a full proper campaign in the background in my evenings and weekends and stuff, trying to build out a basic campaign. Which should be a lot of fun. We actually streamed Session 0, I believe, if I remember correctly. We streamed Session 0. We talked about where we got all of their ideas and their basic character creation. So that should be a lot of fun. If you wanted to like catch up on that at all, it's on the NiddTuber YouTube channel as well. And I think I need to scan still. But yeah, so they're gonna be playing kind of like on the border space out on the edge of the Alliance, and is it the Alliance and the Empire or something like that? So yeah, so I've been reading up a lot of I have to go back through my notes and check up on everything that I've been thinking about so far, but
Frameshift drive charging.
yeah, that should be a lot of fun when we get started on that. I haven't seen you guys play that yet. I'm interested to know more about it. Yeah, I believe we've got all of the, and there might be like not all. I don't know. We've got a bit of a backlog trying to get everything onto the YouTube channel. But if you go to the NiddTuber YouTube channel, you should see the full. It's called The Worst Intentions. So if you go to the NiddTuber, there should be a playtest for The Worst Intentions, Elite Dangerous role-playing game, which was the original adventure that I ran them all through. It's about 5 sessions long. They all play as police officers in the Acellus Primus police agency, which is in Federation space, and they have a mission that that they have to go solve a crime, solve a problem, which was tons of fun. There's a whole bunch of throwback memes, I'm sure, that are going to come out of that as we go forward. All I'll say is Apple's butt cheeks, and when you get to that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you're interested in watching our first run through of it, and that was all with Roll20, so to see kind of what I did with Roll20, that's all on the YouTuber channel, and the session 0 is on there as well. So for the campaign, been a long time. Hey Gunny, welcome Gunny, welcome to the stream. Yes, it has been a long time. I'm getting back into a little bit of Elite Dangerous. I'm trying to get home from Beagle Point, making the trip home. I'm currently in the abyss on the far side of the galaxy, not too far from Beagle Point at the moment. We're chatting about Elite Dangerous lore. We're chatting about Elite Dangerous role-playing game, which is something that I'm now running with a bunch of the guys here on the NiddTuber channel, and tons of fun. So getting Elite Dangerous from multiple angles, which has been pretty cool. And then just chatting about all kinds of stuff. Actually, we're going through the lore, like the Galnet stuff, the new Galnet stuff that's been back in the news articles. So I do need to let's play the next article. I keep forgetting about that. Is there anything going on in here? Nope. So it's so Prince Harold Duval assassinated
by the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army. The Empire has imposed immediate blackout on these events, and no official statement has been made. However, independent journalist Gwendolyn Nash published this on the scene report for Vox Galactica. From interviewing multiple sources, we gather that a single assassin...
4, 3,
oh, right.
2, 1.
Ah, keep doing that. Sorry.
Managed to infiltrate Harold Duval's personal transport. He was killed by shipboard guards, but not before shooting the prince at close range. The NMLA claimed responsibility for this attack in its latest propaganda broadcast, which referred to the Duval family as imperialist parasites. The extremist group also demanded that Marlinists everywhere must rise up and demand a democratic republic. Harold Duval was famously declared unfit for the throne by Emperor Hengist, and has been out of the public eye ever since. He rarely left capital, but was making an unpublicized journey to visit his daughter Aisling Duval, presumably in response to the recent terrorist attack in the Samias system. It remains unknown how the NMLA knew of the prince's itinerary, or managed to breach security on his ship.
Oh, that's interesting. So the terrorists are so they're killing Duvals from the Duval family, obviously the rulers, right? And then or the original line, right? So because it's passed down from generation to generation, the run of the empire by the Duval family, and they're demanding a democracy, which I find actually quite hilarious, because if you know the history of the those are worth looking. If you know the history of the empire was actually founded by so the original emperor came to power after the mysterious death of his sister, who was the person that actually got everybody. So like they all were tired of the Federation. They were tired of all the rules and the corporations and the corruption and the blah, 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 blah. And she gathered up a whole bunch of people, and they went flying across the galaxy to find a place that was far enough away that they could get out of the meddling Federation's hands to set up a new place. And while it was in its fledgling state, as they were trying to create their new thing, she died in a mystery, right? Like, and of course, the official line now is there was no wrongdoing, but back then there was like lots of like maybe the brother offed her, because after he took power, he took her original, like she was trying to make a democracy. She was trying to make a you know, like a new version, like take all of the corruption out of the Federation, make a democracy, make this, you know, awesome place to live, far away from the corporate overlords of the Federation, and then her brother, you know, she who knows if that's actually what happened, but yeah, the conspiracy is that her brother might have offed her, took power from her, and then turned it into the Empire, which is this like freaking Roman Republic style, no democracy, like the Roman Republic meets the British Empire with like kind of like a monarchy almost situation going on. That looked like was that an Earth-like? So now there's a group that is trying to force democracy. Yes, that looks like there's an Earth-like. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So close to Rocky World. What do we got here? Okay, that's an icy Rocky World. Oh yeah, so it was just a rocky world. Since we're here, I'll go to this icy body. But yeah, now that's gone. What's this over here? Oh, okay, but there is a water world here. So let's go find that. But yeah, that's kind of funny. How come full circle now. The people that live in the Empire now there's a terrorist group trying to like force democracy, which was the original goal of the founder of the Empire, which of course, if you're in the Empire, you're not allowed to talk about that kind of stuff. It was always meant to be this way. Long live the Empire. I'm an alliance guy. Yeah, so there you go. What was I doing? Oh, right. Death of a Duval is the next one.
Death of a Duval. Imperial news sources have confirmed that Prince Harold Duval was assassinated by NMLA terrorists while traveling incognito to the Samias system. Emperor Arasalavik Duval broadcast this address. It is with great sadness that we announce...
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
It's the passing of our beloved Prince Harold. A state funeral at the Hall of Martyrs is being arranged, and there will be a period of mourning. As is customary for esteemed members of the Imperial family, there will be opportunities for all citizens to honor Harold's memory in an appropriate manner. Princess Aisling Duval, Harold's daughter, appeared uncharacteristically distressed when she gave a brief statement to the media. It's a huge loss to us all that. I'm sorry. I can't believe this has happened. He can't be gone. I used to have some sympathy for the Marlinists, but now they took him from us. They took my daddy. The NMLA also attacked starports in the Samias, Gap Georges, LHS 4031 and RAB systems. The Empire is now on heightened alert, and the Senate has approved new counter-terrorism initiatives proposed by Senator Denton Patrius.
Aisling Duval is an interesting character too, right? Or Aisling Duval. Isn't she she's the blue-haired one, right? And like I know that like let's go, we go to Galactic Powers. Yeah, Aisling Duval is this one here. She's the blue-haired one, and she's supposedly like anti slavery as well or whatever, right? But I think like she's also like done a lot of really shady stuff, like mind control things that there was a whole bunch of old lore in the Galnet from before. So like I think she's also done some pretty like, so she's like I'm not sure about her. I have to read up on my history on her again and double check my facts. But yeah, the blue-haired one, yeah. But yeah, like so she's like at first glance, you're kind of like, oh yeah, no, she's like, you know, she's trying to get power in the empire and bring down slavery and all this kind of stuff. But when you actually look closer to her mentions in Galnet, I think that like she's she might not be the well, she's cracked up to be. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's worth reading closer, not just the headlines. Both sides are bad. Let's see here. Both sides are bad, or is it there is good people on both sides, or wait? I think, yeah. So I think in any situation like that too, right? Like, so each side thinks that they're in the right? And each side thinks that the other side is in the wrong, and they're fighting for their own belief systems, right? And so there will there will be good and bad people on both sides. There will be corrupt and idealistic people on both sides. There will be yeah, like a lot of that kind of stuff going on, right? So oops, wrong thing. So yeah, it's one of those situations where you have to like look at, well, what is their actual platform? What are they saying that they want to accomplish? But then you also have to look at like the actions of the leaders, the actions of the individuals, right? What are they doing, as opposed to what they're saying? Because at the end of the day, it's power, right? In politics, right? Power politics, right? So it's about getting power, keeping power, and denying it from others, right? And if that's your mentality, if all you care about are those three things, and other people have their ideals and they believe in other stuff, and they're not playing that game, they're going to have a hard time winning, sadly. At least that's what history has taught us. But I imagine that there are people on both sides that are playing power politics, right? And probably the big leaders, probably the ones that want power, right? So again, there's a difference between like the everyday people, right? The foot soldiers, the ones that do, you know, like the grunt work, and what they believe in, and what they're being told by charismatic people in power, right? Oops, did I actually check this? Yeah, I did. Okay, get out of there.
Frame shift drive charging.
But that doesn't mean that you can't have leaders too that actually are, you know, care and are idealistic, right? So so it's actually like, I can bring this back to the, I don't know if you guys have watched Deep Space Nine. So I'm working through, I'm now in season 5, I think. I've been slowly working my way through Deep Space Nine for the first time. I never like, I've seen all the other Star Treks, and I never got through Deep Space Nine. So I'm slowly working my way through it. And there is I didn't realize, because I'd watched all of Voyager. And the second in command in Voyager is a Maquis officer. Yeah, it's a good show. Is a Maquis officer, right? And so I got a little bit of this lore about the Maquis from Voyager, right? Because there was all that tension in the beginning of Voyager with Chakotay and Janeway, right? And and so, but I really didn't know what that was all about. And now I've been watching Deep Space Nine. It's like, oh. Like the whole birth of the Maquis, and like their whole cause and everything they're fighting for, and the whole 9 yards. It's all in Deep Space Nine. And so, but that's a good example too of like it's a group of people that feel that they've been abandoned by the Federation, and then they're being exploited by the Cardassians, and they're stuck in the middle between the two, and they need to find a way to survive. So they rise up and fight back, right? And of course, different sides call them different things, right? Some people call them terrorists, some people call them freedom fighters. Depends what you believe and what side you're on. And then there will be idealistic people that care nothing but the cause in those groups, and they start off, you know, that way, probably more than anything else. But then as they grow and they get more power, then you'll end up getting people that rise to the top. That's what they want, is the power. They want the power over the group that has now showing that it's got the ability to accomplish things, right? And that's when power politics comes into play, especially between multiple groups that are very powerful. So in the case of the Federation and the Empire and Elite Dangerous, right? you know, power play is a very apt name for that part of the game, right? Now it's like there's the whole gameplay side of it, but that's basically what's going on there, right? And the whole struggle between like what happened there with the shadow president of the Federation and Housley, right? Like with that whole thing, was that all predicated by him to like get her out to take power, right? Was that a thing that was going on there? Who knows? There's no evidence for or against it right now, although they've just, because there was that article that I just read, right, that ooh, this might be an Earth, maybe not. Why are they so close? In the scanner, I don't like it. I don't like it. Rocky World gets me every time. Keep pressing the wrong sets of buttons there.
Frameshift drive charging.
So what do we got? Community support required for Starbuck. Let's play that.
Community support required for starport conversions. Pilots Federation alert for the attention of all commanders.
4, 3, 2.
All commanders, you say.
Trading commodities required in Nagasuru and Tench systems. 2 construction companies have requested materials to convert refinery outposts into starboards to assist owners of fleet carriers who use large vessels for tritium refueling. Susanna Haynes, CEO of Governor Space Frames Limited, stated, "With the galactic community's help, we can upgrade a maximum of 5 outposts into orbit starports. Our intermediaries, Tench Universal Holdings, will accept deliveries of building fabricators, power generators and thermal cooling units at Blau Hub in the Tench system." There were similar requests from Dean Bradigan, Director of Steel Castle Incorporated. For travelers who find the familiar sight of Coriolis stations welcoming, here's a chance to build up to 5 more. We ask for shipments of bauxite, gallite and rutile to be delivered to CQC Holdings at Tenghui Station in the Nagasuru system. The number of starports will depend on the amount of materials delivered. The target systems in order of priority are Fugin, HR 4979.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
294, Lambda 2 Tukani, Patriti, LHS 4058, Chakpa, Galibese, Eta Cephei and Ninabin. If successful, upgrading will be done for the start of October. Both initiatives begin on 17th of September 3306 and will run for 1
System
week.
scan
If the
complete.
final targets for a
Fuel
campaign
scooping.
are met earlier than planned, it will end immediately.
Fuel scooping
Terrorist
complete.
attacks on Imperial starports.
So that was the community goal, I'm assuming. Yeah, because I think also, actually, let's just quickly check. Yeah, nothing. I think that also, if I go back into the Galnet News, which I'm so happy is back. Yeah, so this is the community goal. We can go to the 2 different systems. Very good. So was there another terrorist attack on Imperial starports? Oh, did it go around? Is that the first one that we listened to? Is it now looping? Does the playlist just loop? What's going on? I like Cisco. He's a great character. Yeah, he is. I totally agree. Terrorist attacks. Yeah. I think we started with that one, didn't we? Is that how the playlist functionality works? Is it just loops around? In character, I think I would actually agree with the idea of getting democracy in the Empire. However, not if they are going to killing people to do that, to get it. Yeah, so that's the whole idea between revolution, right, versus. But if you look back at history, in our own history, right, like most democracies, some, like I guess nowadays a lot of democracies might come out, but they might come out like through evolution, but like they seem to evolve a lot of times through revolution, right? Like well, I guess that might be the difference between like a constitutional monarchy and in like a republic, right? Like the republics all seem to have been born out of revolution. But yeah, sometimes people feel, and I guess that's what this group, right? This particular group within the Empire is like, nobody's listening. Like the power structure is so huge that there's no way to change it without ripping it down first and then rebuilding it with your own image, which means warfare, which means a lot of killing, a lot of death. And if that's what this group is doing, right? And they're already, they're already doing terror stacks. If that's how they believe that they need to get what they want, then yeah, I totally hear you on that. So yeah, just come to the Alliance. We've already got lots of democracies in there.
Fuel scooping complete.
Break away and join the Alliance. Of course, the Alliance also, the dirty secret of the Alliance as well, right, is that they basically, the Alliance is, I guess the Alliance is kind of like Star Trek Federation, but probably not as, not quite as, idealistic as the Federation, right? Whereas the Alliance is literally a bunch of planets that have their own way of ruling things, that decided to get together and make a combined fleet that they all contribute to make sure that they can push back the Alliance and the Empire from like meddling in their business, right? They basically a bunch of independent worlds that all rule their worlds or systems, right? That rule over themselves however they want, which, if you don't dig into that, sounds really good, right? It's like, oh yeah, no, we everybody can rule themselves their own way. I think I have to look. I'm not sure if the Alliance has like a charter, like like the Federation had, right? Like if you wanted membership into the Federation of Planets, and of course I'm talking about Star Trek Federation, not the Federation in Elite Dangerous, where they had like a charter that you had to, and you had to like meet all of these requirements, right? And you had to like do certain things to be a member, and then maintain those things to be a member. And a lot of that was around how you like human rights and all that kind of stuff, right? Whereas in the Alliance, I believe it's literally like they can run their system and their planets however they wish, and the only thing that the Alliance states is that, hey, an Earth-like world. The only thing that the Alliance states is like in membership is kind of more like NATO, I guess, right? Like a defensive pact, right? Like that everybody contributes to a common defensive pact that push back aggressors when they are attacked. I wonder, should we go out to let's go take a look at a water. Like this is the first Earth-like that we've discovered on the way back. Let's go take a look. NATO pre-2016, you mean? Nope, look at that. We're on the same page. I think my EDRPG character is from a border world between the Empire and Alliance. Yeah, that's right, Empire and Alliance. His Alliance homeworld was annexed by the Empire. Yes, perfect. I think that's right. Of course, it can be whatever we want it to be. But yeah, NATO. Yeah, so that's kind of what the Alliance is like. It's but within the Alliance, like, so again, on the surface, that sounds awesome, right? And then when you dig into it, you're like, oh, well, that means that there are like full-on dictatorships. There are, like whatever kind of government you can think of. There's probably a system in the, a system within the Alliance that does that. Now, I do believe that like a high majority of systems within the Alliance are democracies. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that is the case, and I believe that the Alliance was built around that idea, right? That they were trying, they were hoping for more of that than anything else. But like it's an experiment still, right? And maybe they are working on I don't know if they have like a membership charter in the sense that Think of it more like the EU. Yeah, kind of like that. But I don't even. Yeah, so it's a bunch of. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess kind of like the EU, where it's a bunch of countries that have their own governments, have um, their own way of doing things, and they can run their countries however they want. But yeah, they have like a. So it's like maybe it's like the, because I don't know. Like, does the EU have a like a defensive pact, or that's NATO, right? Like just being a part of the EU doesn't mean if somebody attacks a member of the EU that everybody comes to their defense. So maybe it's kind of like EU meets NATO, right? It's kind of like a joint thing where it's like a bit of both, where there's a defensive pact and a economic pact, right? But I don't even know how much of an economic pact there is. Maybe it's all just military, in which case Boris might be right. It's just NATO. Let's go. Oh, I need to. Is that what I wanted to do? Surface scanner. Switch mode. Surface scanner. I can probe this guy, right? So let's probe him. So let's see. What is the 6 probes? All right, so let's go 1. 2. And let's go 3, and then let's put one like way behind. 4, and then one right here. That's 5 probes. Let's see how that does. Newto. Nice.
Surface scanned.
I think it's more okay. So EU has quite stringent rules about who can and can't join. Right. So yeah. So EU would be more like the Star Trek Federation. Yeah. So I should. Oh, did I didn't get it all. Darn it. Looks like there's still a block there. So let's kind of go there. So it might be more like NATO than the EU. I'm not sure. That's something I need to read up a bit more on, especially because I'm about to run a campaign that's close to that area of space. Remember Futurama's dupe? I don't. I love that show, too. 100%. Oh, I think I got the efficiency bonus. I did it in 6. Nice. We did it. 100% mapped. We found an Earth-like world out here. This is where we're going to come live. Get away from everybody. So now I need to get out of that. And yeah, now we can see this beautiful Earth-like world. Look at that. So let's speed up a bit, kind of do a bit of a flyby of the beautiful Earth-like world that we just scanned. Democratic Order of Planet. You are scanner engineered. Democratic Order of Planet. I have to look that up again. It's a beautiful planet. I like it. Can't wait till we can land on those babies. That's not for a while yet. But we are starting to get, we're getting thin atmosphere soon, right? So that's a very cool. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no. That was the wrong button. Planets. Democratic Order of Planets. Right, many. The dupe. I like the name. Dupe. Or the acronym. I like the acronym.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, that's why.
3, 2,
I'm still pointing at the planet,
engage.
not the next. There we go. All right, now let's go.
Frameshift drive
Charging. The dupe was the Federation that Brannigan worked for. Oh my god, Boris, do you know a TV reference?
Ready to engage.
You got a TV reference that I didn't get? What's wrong with this universe?
4, 3, 2.
Zap Brannigan. Yes, that's right. Oh right, Zap Brannigan. Yeah. I remember him. Yes, it's a TV comedy, right? There, that's the difference. And it's sci-fi, which also helps, right? That's all I've got. Nice.
Fuel scooping.
Incorrect cockpit node. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Don't do that. There, scanner. Oh.
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, I need to finish scanning. Yeah, that's a piece of lore that I need to double check on. Is the like, what is the membership rules for the Alliance? Like, how strict are they in membership? Because I don't think that like, if we go to the galaxy map, and let's go to Alioth, which is the capital of the, well, capital, right, of the Alliance, which is funny because that's also the name of the planet that you start on in Dual Universe. It's the Alioth system here, though, and the main capital. Oh, look at that! There's a LA4. That's an engineer there. But it is Wicca's world, Turner's world. Yeah, so Turner's world is the actual capital, right, of the again, air quotes, capital of the Alliance. And if we go to the details here, right, so this system is a democracy, and it's the original member, like it's the one that started the whole thing. But if we look at, where am I? Oh, I'm back. Let's go back to Alioth. And we look around here, and we go, I want to see by allegiance, commodities, civil government, right? Let's turn on all the governments, right? So there are a lot of democracies. See, that's all the green stuff. Well, not all. So like if I turn these off, boom. Yeah, so there are quite a few democracies, but they look like they're mostly scattered closer to, yeah, like around Alioth itself is where all the democracies are, right? But, so if we turn off anarchy and none, and then let's turn off, what do we got here? Detention centers and private ownerships and workshops and prison colonies. So these are the other types of, so these are all the types of governments that are in Elite Dangerous. But like colonies, let's turn off democracies. So that's just kind of like in the center there. And then we've got Imperial, not a whole lot of that going on. Corporate. So there's a lot of corporate. Look at that. Oh, wow. In this area of space, there is a ton of just corporate, which is very, very Federation, right? Like companies own these systems. Then communist, there's a few, yeah, there's a fair number of communist governments. And if I zoom out, like there might be more, but corporate, cooperative, and yeah, patronage, right? Where's theocracy? So run by their religion, I believe that is, right. And then, but yeah, so there, I mean, there's a fair kind of like fair differentiation going on in there. But there was a lot of democracies too. So
Frameshift drive charging.
yeah, I've been reading a lot of the wiki stuff. I've been reading a lot of, actually there's a different role-playing game that I bought that I've never played, but I bought it mostly for the guy that wrote it has a huge section in lore in the beginning of it. It's the Elite Encounters, which I believe one of the guys from Lave Radio made the RPG. So I actually wouldn't mind like actually trying it out too. But I think that's right. I could be wrong. If Ferndip's still here, I think he listens to Lave Radio. He might know that too. But I believe he did that all on his own, right? Whereas EDRPG was two creators that worked together on that one. And EDRPG is the one that's gotten a lot more publicity. Like they actually played EDRPG on I think it was a Christmas live stream, like where Frontier, like Ed Frontier, playing with like Ed back when Ed was still the community manager. I liked Ed. I miss Ed.
Frameshift drive charging.
That's pretty cool. Didn't know that. Sorry, I don't know. I said a lot of things recently. I'm not sure what you didn't know. Because I'm just jibber jabbing away.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Trying to find Elite Fiction. Still want to get the name. It was called Elite the Dark Wield. So that actual book by Robert Holdstock is the original book that came with the original game Elite, and it's called Elite the Dark Wield. And I've read that recently. It was fun little read. It's like a little short story that came with the original game that had a bunch of like lore and stuff in it, where the original Raxla stuff was talked about, which is that's why I read it because it was fun. What do we got in here? Oh, have I started to get into places that haven't been properly scanned by people? I think I might have. Oh no, maybe 33 bodies. Oh yeah, look at that. I think this is a not discovered by yet. Let's just check. So right now, if I go, let's just go find a gas giant. Or whatever this is. Gas giant. Discovered a gas giant. Does it give me any information in here about that, or do I have to go back out to the So let's just get back out here and then open up this. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that's the only thing in here. And it is not like there's no first discovered by. So I'm now the first one to be here. Oh, cool. So I'm now in. I've kind of gotten off far enough away from Beagle Point and off the normal path that I've now started to find some areas that aren't discovered. So now I should start doing a bit more proper exploring now that I've kind of gotten off that. How far have we made it tonight? Because I'm going to stream for about another half hour, I think, and then I'll call it quits for the night.
Ready to engage. 4,
Throttle up.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Oh, I did it again. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, I'm actually one thing about playing the video game and also like running a campaign in the Elite Dangerous role-playing game is really cool because I can like flip-flop back and forth between the two, play both games, explore areas that you can't explore with the role. Like, so in the role-playing game, you can explore stuff you can't explore in the video game, right? You can go down onto planets with atmosphere. You can walk around in your ships. You can do all that kind of stuff because it's all like in your mind. It's all in your mind. Okay, so this one looks like it has a couple of discovered things already. Yes. So the people, somebody has been here before, and they probably just grabbed the ice, or sorry, the high metal content worlds. I'm like drifting again. My control. Oh, maybe I need to tighten up my. Yeah, might be what's going on. I'm actually like, as far as Elite Dangerous role-playing game goes. I've got a couple of campaigns going. So there's the new one that's coming up with. So if you're interested in this stuff at all, one I'll recommend again on the NiddTuber channel. Look for the Worst Intentions. That's a 5-part live stream that I ran with Boris, Apple, Lyric, and Spidey. and they were playing police officers in the Federation, which was a lot of fun. We're starting a new campaign soonish once we're done with the brain dead stuff. But I'm also running a campaign for my family, so my dad and my son and my brother-in-law and my nephew are all players in that, and they are they're playing in the Empire, and there's like a big revolution that they're a part of. So that's been a lot of fun. And that campaign just got started, got going maybe. So they wrapped up their previous one, and now they've started a new one. So new characters, all that kind of stuff. That's fun. And then I've got another campaign that I'm running in Elite Dangerous role-playing game with two of my friends, and they're playing in the Alliance, but they're more like one guy's like a detective, right? So they've gone into this system, and they're chasing down a mark. They're trying to find a guy. He got a job to like find this guy and then deliver him back to, so kind of like a bounty hunter, but like a detective bounty hunter. The two of them are like looking for this guy, and it's been a lot of fun as well. And they've kind of like stumbled into something much bigger, which is how you do. And now they're trying to figure out what's going on with all that. So those are the Elite Dangerous role-playing game campaigns that I'm running right now. So that's been a lot of fun. Been really enjoying all of that. You will get the discovery when you sell the data. Yep, yeah, that's right. That's right, Gunny. You can visit hives of scum and villainy. Yes, there's many hives of scum and villainy, for sure. Yes, we'll have to make all those references in the new campaign that we're starting with the NiddTubers. I have to continue to, like, I think it's my job to continue to make references that Boris doesn't understand.
Complete. Fuel scooping.
And so with Boris, I have to continually make references that he doesn't understand. With Apple, I have to continually make references to Back to the Future. Not sure what I have to do with Spidey or Lyric yet, but I'll figure it out. If you guys have suggestions, let me know. Oh wow, nothing here.
Frameshift drive charging.
Also with Apple, I have to make sure that every bad guy tries to take a pot shot at his butt cheeks, because that's a thing. And if you don't get that reference, then you need to watch the Worst Intentions playthrough. Actually, the Worst Intentions is so when you if you buy the Elite Dangerous role-playing game, by the way, it's made by a company called Spider-Man Games, and so if you're interested, you can look that up. Elite Dangerous role-playing game, EDRPG, Spider-Man Games. But when you there's a free adventure you can download from their website, which is the Worst Intentions, which is what I ran, what I ran them all through. So if you're interested in that adventure as well, you can get all the material for that that I ran them through. One thing I was considering doing, and I don't know, Ferndip, you might actually be interested in this, because I know you were trying to learn Roll20 and stuff too, but I don't know how to do this yet, but I think I think there's a way that you can package up a Roll20 game, right? And then make it available for other people to use. So that might be something I look into doing, is like, it's like, hey, I actually, if you guys want to, if somebody else wants to run Worst Intentions and you're going to run it on Roll20, I've got, like, I built all of this stuff, somebody else might as well use it. Or just people can use it as an example of how I did certain things, right? So here's a high metal content world. So high metal content worlds can be what do we got here? Icy rocky worlds. The high metal content's over here. Oh no, okay. I wish those arrows always just kind of like told you the thing you were looking at on your scanner. Like, I wish there was a way for me to know. And friend, if you know how to use a scanner better than I do, I would totally be interested. Like, is there a way for me to know where to look? Like, do those little arrows above my scanner thing tell me anything? Doesn't look like they change. Like, how do I know where to look? Looks like it's not over there. Doesn't look like it's over there. Where is this thing? Ah, I give up. Not worth it.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2.
Here we go. I think we went through the Gallon articles for the night. We've done some exploration a little bit. We're doing some traveling. We've talked about the Elite Dangerous role-playing game. We've talked about the lore of Elite Dangerous.
Fuel scooping.
My next stream, so we are getting close to the end of this stream. So the slider on the bottom. So the slider on the bottom, forget its name. You need to line it up with the signals on the bar. Right. So let me try this again. So if I look in here, so it looks like somebody did discover the high metal content world in the system. But if I select, let's go back into the scanner. So the slider on the bottom, this guy here, right? So I line it up with the thing I'm looking for, right? So let's say the high metal content world, right? So I want to find this high metal content world. Now, right now, without doing anything, is there any way for me to know which way to turn? Like I see on the bar, like when I flip through, I do see a bunch of little weird, like carrots, white carrots above it. What does that mean? What does that tell me? Look for orbit lines. Yeah, okay. So I just have to like rando around and try and find it, right? So I look for orbit lines. That's normally what I do, is I normally follow the orbit lines, and then these little arrows obviously point you when you get close enough, right? But obviously I'm not finding what I'm looking for. So but I was just wondering, like when you follow around the entire orbit line and you don't find the thing you're looking for, then it's on another orbit line that you don't know about yet, right? And then trying to find those, I find quite difficult. These little blue areas sometimes show up, but not always. So yeah, I was just curious if there was like any kind of an indicator. Like right now, I'm trying to find this particular world, and I'm having a hell of a time. Like, where is it? And those little arrows are not helpful when they show up when it's not a thing I'm scanning. Like, why do they show up like here? Like, it's pointing to me at this, even though it's not a thing I'm trying to find. And same with this, right? And same with these. Like, how do I find this without just, like, scanning around the whole world? Whole system. Or it's a moon around a different planet type. Oh, no. Oh, that's evil. So it might be around one of these, like, gas giants. So now if I go back over to... Oh, look at that. That totally makes sense. Okay, so if you can't find it right off the bat, and you're looking... Okay. I see what you're saying. Thank you. That makes sense. But... And I bet you, like, gas giants, like, obviously the biggest gravitational bodies in the system would likely be the ones that actually have most of the moons and things of that nature around it. Although other ones obviously can. But yeah, like here, like that's... I've hit the jackpot now with, like, orbiting moons. Rocky body. Gas giants are the most common, yeah. Go there first, etc. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's kind of what I was wondering. It's like, because I was looking around like, where is this thing? So it's weird that like I was on the, like, you know, you'd think it'd kind of like tell you, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. That makes sense. So next Thursday, the plan will be to be in Dual Universe again. So my goal, my idea right now, and you guys can let me know what you think of this that are in the chat right now, was to kind of like start going back and forth. So each Thursday, so tonight was Elite Dangerous, so next week will be Dual Universe, and then the week after that will be Elite Dangerous, and back and forth. So yeah, next week, right now the plan is to be in Dual Universe as long as I can come up with and get some time to kind of like prep for the stream. That game definitely needs some more prep time if I actually want to accomplish anything in the stream.
Fuel scooping.
But I'm not exactly sure what I want to do next in Dual Universe. I know Boris is definitely into the building, so it might be fun just to start building Nid Tower. That might be a thing. Like stay on Alioth, stay at the new place, start building the tower there.
Frameshift drive charging.
My offer to meet you out there halfway still stands. I need to mine a lot of tritium to get there first. Time-consuming hobby. Yeah, so thank you for that. And you know what? I might take you up on that so my goal with this game is to be back in the bubble for the for our Streamvestor, so NiddTubers Streamvestor, which is the like crazy 24-hour live stream that the Nid does. Oh, I should actually fly. Every New Year's Eve, right? So I'm hoping to be back in the bubble by New Year's Eve. Now, it's what, September, mid-September? So October, November, December. So that's 3.5 months. Should be doable, right? But if I'm only streaming once every 2 weeks, and who knows how much actual progress I'm making, because it depends what we find. Hey, is this a... All right, so there's no Jovians, so I'm thinking I should be able to find these on the main line. So high middle content world. But yeah, so I think I might take you up on that offer if you know, I might as well just, there's probably not a whole lot of, I might take you up on that offer as like, as we get closer and closer to to Streamvestor, and if I'm still like way the hell out, maybe I'll take you up on that offer to like come save me and bring me in for the live stream. And maybe, yeah, who knows, maybe that'd be a lot of fun too. You could like on the 24-hour live stream, or, you know, come out and get me and bring me home. Which might be fun, depending on how close I get by then.
System scan complete.
Right. You have a lot of jumping to do to get there, Holmes. Or yes, I sure do. Neutrons are your pal for sure. Yeah, I didn't really want to. I was like, I don't know. Do I really? Because I did Neutron Highways all the way out. I used the Neutron Highway to get to and back from Colonia a couple of times, and that definitely is a lot of help. But it's like, I don't know. Do I really want to do that? So actually, here's the other thing that I'm trying to do. Like you can see, I am 92% Pioneer right now, right? And I think Pioneer is the last rank, so I need 8%. So I want to make sure that I get enough exploration data to go from 92% to 100% Pioneer, which should take me to double Elite. Right, correct me if I'm wrong, but Pioneer is the last one right before Elite in
Frameshift drive charging.
Exploration. But yeah, that's another option too, is like if I really need to make some progress, I might take, you know, a few Neutron runs.
2, 1, engage.
Yes, and we are approaching quitting time. So let's finish this jump. Oh, idea. Look up. Whoop. Oh my God. Let's not crash into a star. Let's not pull a bulls.
System scan.
Oh, I'm still in the wrong. That's why I'm in the wrong mode. How do I flip my?
Fuel scooping complete.
Surface scanner too fast. What am I doing? How do I change my? There we go. Scanner. Man. There we go. Let's pull up this. Okay. I don't even know. I got distracted there. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Okay. I have gotten my trade and explorer elite. Yeah. So I have my trade. That was the first one I got, which I thought was hilarious. Because I was doing so much exploration, but then I was doing back in the day when the passenger runs was a thing where you would pick up a whole bunch, like a load of passengers, and then fly them out to like these places way off, many light seconds away from the star. I was doing that, and that's when I got trade elite. Was doing that. That's also when I bought my first Anaconda. But yeah, so I'm hoping to get working on combat. Yeah, combat will definitely be my last one for sure. But yeah, so oh, look at this. Okay, so we've made it we're almost to the edge. We're getting closer and closer. So I think we started here. So we actually made more progress tonight than I did in the first. Oh, maybe not. Where's Beagle Point? Actually, I think I have Beagle Point as a show navigation marks. Oh, bookmarks is on. So I guess I didn't bookmark Beagle Point. I should bookmark Beagle Point because we keep using it as a reference point, obviously. Beagle Point. So I'm gonna bookmark that. And then let's zoom back out. So yeah, so this has been my journey so far. Can I make that go away? How do I make that go away? Nope. All right. Yeah, no. So the first stream we went from here to there and we looked at some crazy stuff. And then I started flying to here, but I didn't make it. So I think I only made it to like about here or so. So actually, yeah, we've made a lot more progress tonight. So I flew to this spot tonight. That's where we started. I was like 5 jumps away from there. And then we flew from there to there. And in between streams, I did like, I don't know, maybe like 50 jumps or so. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, so it looks like in 2 streams I've kind of gone like from here to here and then from here to here now. But yeah, not making a ton of progress. And that's where our next like major thing is that we're going for, is up over there. And so right now, if I was to go straight to Seoul, which is not right, so like straight to Seoul would be straight across again to there, right? So if I look at this like a triangle, because we are going like around like this to get home, right? We're gonna go that way. So if I was gonna go, okay, what is the distance right now from here to Seoul? I've obviously got things turned off, yeah. So I am 62. Yeah, I'm still very, very far away. And it's actually like what? Probably more like, because we're going around, it's probably gonna be more like what, like 120? Like maybe double that? 120,000 light years? Yeah, I've got my work cut out for me. Yeah. I don't know. At this rate, I don't think I'm making it home for Christmas. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ferndip. But yeah, I don't think I'm making it home for Christmas if I keep making the progress that I'm making. So I definitely might need you come New Year's to come save me. But I'll let you know. But I might start taking some time between streams to make a little bit more progress. which means that like during the stream, maybe we can spend more time exploring. And then between streams, I'll try and do more just like the boring jumping part. And the, you know, yeah, like once we get, starts to, yeah, like once we get over to here too, it looks like the stars are starting to cluster up a bit more, quite a bit more than where we are. Yeah, I got a long way to go. Oh, I got a long way to go. What is your jump range? Actually, my jump range is pretty good. Where does it show you that again? Modules, ship. Jump range. So current jump range is 60.88 light years. Unladen is 64.87 light years. If you go to a semicircle, it's probably about 100K. Okay, pretty good. Yeah, I did a lot of work on this ship for Dip. Like we could, I've got a I got a fully engineered frame shift drive, right? Increased, 5-star increased FSD range on this guy. I've got a Guardian hybrid power plant. I've got a, is that all I've done on this? Oh, I have the Guardian frameshift drive booster as well. Yeah. So I got the frameshift drive booster. I've got a 5 frameshift drive, and then of course I I derated a bunch of stuff and got the power plant. Yeah. So yeah, I did a bunch of work on this thing. So that means you can do about 65 let you jump. Well, no. So basically, I think I'm averaging like, because like when you're full up on fuel, right? You lose some jump range as well because that's weight. So I probably get about 60 light years is on average. I can get about 60 light years jump. But that also depends on, like when you plot a route, right? You're not going to get 60 light years every single time. You're going to get, up to 60 light years to whatever the next farthest star out is within 60 light years that you can get to along the route. So yeah, so I don't always get 60 light years every jump. But that's the max. Like, so you can see right here, my next jump here is 54.3 light years because that's just the distance. The next star on the route that I'm trying to take, that would be further than 60 light years away, right? So it plotted me to a 54 light year jump. So you're probably looking at about 2,000 jumps. About 2,000 jumps. And how many, I guess I should start seeing how many jumps I do in a night, right? So we're at 252 jumps to get to the destination. And I think we were at what, like 300. So I probably did about, I think we were just over 300. So I probably did about 50 jumps tonight. So let's say I averaged 50 jumps a night. Yeah. I don't think the math works out, but yeah. That's probably some math that I need to do, right? Is like, okay, if I've got let's say 2,000 light years to go, or what did you say there? Meaning about 15. So yeah, so let's say I've got about 2,000 jumps, right? And I average 50 jumps a night. How many nights is that to get home? Which is probably more than I have streams. At this rate, allowing yourself to explore, you would probably need a year. Yeah, I'm worried about that. So for Dip, I might have to take you up on your offer. We'll see. Because yeah, I don't want to turn it into just like just nothing but jumping constantly without stopping to look. So I am like, one thing I am doing though is like I'm only really going to be looking in systems. So when I pop, not that button, this button. Like when I pop into here, I'm looking around real quick to see what we find. And if I find, you know, basically what I'm right now, I'm just kind of looking for water worlds and earth likes and ammonia, you know, are kind of like the big three. And then I'm kind of moving on. So we'll see if that speeds things up enough. But because I know you could stop for high metal content, right, are good ones to look at too, right? Because they might be terraformable, and you could get a lot of money for those. But at the moment, I haven't really been like diving into that too much. But yeah, so that's probably some math that I need to do to figure out, you know, what rate do I need to travel at, and that kind of give me an idea too, I guess, is like, you know, the amount of work that if I really do want to try and make it on my own, how much extra work do I need to do between streams? So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight's stream. Let's kind of go. Let's put the galactic background in my ship, the crate Phantom, kind of off in the distance, just like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. We talked about a lot of things tonight. That was actually a lot of fun. And you know, I'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, same bat place, same bat time. With so it'd be 6 o'clock. Boris is better at this than me. 6 p.m. Mountain Goat time, which of course is Mountain Daylight time, I guess, right now. And then I think it's 1 a.m. in BST, and it's 10 a.m. in AE. Was it AEST? I don't know. The Australian one. I think I do have it on my end card as well. So Gunny has been helping me mine fuel. Oh yeah, nice. Which is unknown for me to get that far to say it. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yep, I remember right. Cool. I did it properly. Okay, so yeah, so I'll see you guys next Thursday at those times that I said for some Dual Universe. I'll try and figure out, you know, what we're up to by that point. But and then the week after that will be some more Elite Dangerous. I'll try to maybe make some progress between now and then as well. You guys have a great one, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye-bye for now.